You return to the wagon after having prevailed against the chastity in the liberation rite. I had a good feeling this would happen. Would that we make good of all such incidents. You succeed in liberating Sir Gilman, who returned to the Commonwealth in glory. Our plan approaches a key turning point. Let us ensure it soon comes to fruition. Not only for ourselves here, but for our companions and our loved ones in the Commonwealth. 70%, that number's looking a lot better now. But we have little time now for reflection into this. Look yonder, reader, the stars demand we go already. Let us help them usher in an end of all this. Turn your attention to the glimmering in the stars. The current state of rate of disappearance suggests that another liberation rite shall be coming very soon. The few remaining stars still shine for you. This might be it. This might be the last one. They're getting really heavy on the warnings of like, hey, running out of stars. Everything looks really bad up there. What if the plot twist is just that this is all happening just because freaking the Commonwealth pollutes too much, so we can't see the sky? One rite until next liberation. One. This is my one chance to do something. Okay. Well, with the current lineup, we're up against Barker or the Pyre Hearts, depending on how things move. So the possibilities aren't the worst there. A troublemaker and a coward. It would suck to have the Pyre Hearts get it back, because then he'd probably go back into being in a powerful position, and he'd probably be back into commanding people that should not be commanded by someone as shitty as him. But generally not too bad. In general, the last three are like kind of whatever. I don't know if I haven't really gotten more backstory on this guy, but he's called Lando the Liar, but he seems to mostly just have a grudge against us specifically, as opposed to a penchant for being a shitty person, as far as I can remember. This guy's a coward, this guy's just a troublemaker. Stakes are kind of gone at this point. It definitely mostly went down to Withdrawn, Chastity, and Essence, and I've successfully defeated 2 of them and failed against 1 of them. Mixed results. 70% probability of success, one rite remaining until the next liberation rite. So even the time between them is getting shorter. Can I pick every single enemy possible? There's Oris, if I want to face off against the Withdrawn and have no impact on the standing. There's the Tempers. Really? And the Essence. Not the Essence, what's it called? Are those the only ones? Am I missing one? I thought there was 4. Is there only 3? Really? Really? They're the only ones I see. So I can only face off against these 3 teams. The most inconsequential teams in the lineup, basically. Okay, so statistically likely we're probably going to face off against the Dissidents unless they manage to really screw up and drop in rank abruptly. Winning or losing is not going to cause any of these teams to actually become the next people we face off against. Huh. That just seems incredibly strange. I kind of want to check in on the Fate. Jodariel's gone, so nobody's really here to talk to the Tempers. Withdrawn can screw right off. But I kind of want to check in with the Fate, just because, hey, sorry about the whole part where we beat you and everything. Maybe fun conversation between Faye and Dalbert's son. Also, I like these characters more than the other ones. Now we're going all the way down to the very bottom of the map again, it looks like. Now the stars bid you return to the Ridge of Gold, where you shall stand against the Fate once again. Your adversary, Dalbert Oldeheart, likely knows the cycle of the rites is drawing to a close. His last remaining chance to earn the favor of the scribes and then regain his freedom likely hinges on the outcome of the next rite. The cycle of the rites is soon to end. The exiles downside striving to be free. Your adversaries, your companions, even you yourself are running out of time. Okay, they're going really heavy on that now. Let's check our roster count. Yeah. So if I had succeeded at every liberation rite, I'm just trying to think of a game, like general game structure. I don't think you can reject any of the companion characters, so I think you have to have this many. But I failed one liberation rite, so if you succeeded all of them, I would have 4 people right now. That means that if I succeeded this liberation rite and never failed in any of them, I would then be left with 3 characters, which is the bare minimum for even doing a level in the first place. And that's so restrictive that the idea that the game would even continue forward to that point would be a little iffy, because you'd just have the same 3-character party every single round, and then you'd have to pick one of them to remove, and then the game would be over anyway, because you couldn't have 3 people anymore. So yeah, my roster is so small now that it seems likely the game is, like, ending, like, now-ish. Alright, so Bertrude's maxed out, Faye is maxed out, Tizo and Pameth are lacking behind, and Wolfred never really had a chance. Didn't like his character very much, the game was getting harder at that point anyway, and he was just joining the crew so late. I appreciate that they gave you the green meter, but it would have taken a while to just charge it up again. I'll probably use Faye, Pameth, and Bertrude for the rest of the game if I can. I can probably assume that there's no summoning sickness. I mean, I guess in this round, because it's against Dalbert, I don't care who wins. It should be the 3 characters that have experience left to gain, which is the reasonable thing to do. But I should try to win, because Dalbert can't... There's no solution for Dalbert where he ends up actually making it to the end again. It can't be done. There's the Kerfang. Except you're, like, never going to score with how awkward and slow you are, so it's better to give you the Moon Crest instead. So you just respawn faster when you get taken out, because you're more of a defensive character. Yeah, let's do Righteous Flame. That's probably the setup I'll go with. Yeah, we'll give them some experience. I'm not going to max out Tizo. We'll max out Pamitha. And then the choice will be Bertrude, Faye, or Pameth for the last person to free. Pamitha kind of used her chance up already, I feel like. I'm iffy on whether or not Faye even wants to go free on some level. It's tempting to send Bertrude free. She's been here for how long again? Oh, it's this one up here. 21 years in exile. And she's a good contact with Wolfred. She's loyal to the cause. She's probably very effective. So she's probably the most effective person for the plan. And at this point, because the rites are coming to a close, if I want Tizo and Faye and Pamitha and everybody to have a chance, then my best chance is to rely on the plan and hope the plan goes how it says it's going to go. And then that might lead to everyone getting liberated. Otherwise, what do we do? But also 21 years, dear lord. A long time. On history. Triesta Tithus, Blessed Born. This book cannot accompany you if you should earn your freedom. It is to remain here for your successors, for it is bound together inextricably with us. There is no sorcery, however, to prohibit you from spreading forth its teachings. We charge you to go forth and share what you have learned along your path. Reveal not the rites themselves, nor the existence of this book. Transcend its bounded limitations, for it cannot be transcribed. Any such attempt shall fail. Beware of those who would dare to read it on the other side. Under their guise of seeking wisdom, may yet lurk a much darker desire to undo that which we strive to do. Another thing to think about is the fact that, of course, we are playing as the reader, and we cannot earn our freedom because we're not taking part in the rites. So it somewhat diminishes the cruelty of keeping people here just because they share our sentence, ultimately. So it might be Faye, Tizo, Pamitha, and Wolfred and the reader hanging out in a wagon and just hoping that things work out. And Faye and Tizo have already they've both kind of made this place their home already because they're outcasts, and Wolfred's on board because he agrees with the plan, and once again Pamitha was specifically praying that she fail so her sister could succeed, so... yeah. Bertrude feels like the right call. Following the successful outcome of the Liberation Rite, you find Bertrude's muttering something to herself. You hear some of the words as you approach.
Shouldst thou seek darkness, then may nightfall come to thee in time. Shouldst thou seek courage, then may bravery soon blossom within thy heart. Shouldst thou seek water, then may the oceans open wide for thee. Shouldst thou seek fortune, then. You recognize it as the Bog Benediction, though you have never heard it said aloud. Bog Benediction, an old blessing of goodwill from the southern bogs, never uttered there in modern times. The bog dwellers have made their more adventurous brethren to go forth and seek the other people of the land. Then Bertrude sees you there and cuts short the chant. Care thee to explain thy presence, reading one. We were amidst an invocation, which must now begin anew. 'Tis for the Worm Knight, if thou needst know, to speed him on his homeward journey. The Worm Knights are distant kin. Unlike their ilk, ours have but passing interest in the sea. There, within the depths, we have long seen that which is to be seen. Nevertheless, the distant kin is kin. That foolish Worm Knight, surely he could never have survived his years if not for divine aid, thus we provide him more. Then perhaps the Worm Knight, easily underestimated as he is, perhaps he shall turn out to be of some small benefit as part of Sandalwood's designs. She glares at you intently for a moment. Mistake thee not these actions for affection, nor for a longing for the loudness of this place to escalate ever again to volumes such as only his incessant shouting could achieve. Now leave us, reading one. The invocation must be finished ere the Worm Knight finally arrives upon the shores beyond the land before his homecoming. He turns away from you, then begins to chant again. Shouldst thou seekest shelter, then may the elements of be merciful to thee. Shouldst thou seekest kinship, then may thy kin hold memory of thee. Shouldst thou seekest darkness. You leave her to the benediction. The Worm Knight's absence is already felt. You know, however, that he will strive with all his might on your behalf there on the other side. I think somebody always has dialogue about the person who departed, which is interesting because the person who has dialogue about that character could be gone too, which means somebody else also has to have dialogue. Like, there has to be like a series of characters that all have dialogue. You don't have to write, no, you basically have to write them for every single character. Yeah, almost everyone would have to have the option. It's interesting because we keep getting hints of affection from Bertrude. Bertrude obviously has attachment to Volfred, but they also clearly seek some kind of hopeful outcome for the Worm Knight, even if they are all like, don't mistake this for affection, and so that's just what people say when they are being genuinely affectionate, but just have an image to maintain, basically. That just makes me more likely to mistake it for affection. At dawn, your companions are prepared to depart. Everyone is silent. Your travels are to take you back to the Ridge of Gold, but soon after, the stars shall draw you here again. Only one this time. How weird is that? It's basically just long enough for the story to allow that one mechanic where we get a letter about about how the other person's faring over there. It's like we'll probably get a letter about Gilman after this round, and then come right back. The final liberation rite. Whew. Oh no, not you again. Have you any idea how afraid of you we were after last time? Just leave this wretched knight in peace. He wants nothing more to do with you, so go away. Colliding with him in the air over and over again. It's one of my favorite random little minor quirks built into the game. If I remember correctly, I crashed into Dalbert and he didn't even get mad. He was just like, oh, hello. Sorry or something. I don't remember what he said. Like, Dalbert just can't be angered, apparently. He probably would get angered if something happened to his son. Yonder lies the Ridge of Gold, somewhat less imposing when viewed from this vantage point. Do you not agree, reader? The myths of the downside hold that it is no mere ridge of stone, but the remains of Lord Gandroth, once slain by Golgathanian himself. Though, perhaps such tales are of little import now, when you stand to confront the fate there in just a short while.
One last... Ooh. You soar near the border of the Sandfolds where your companions first found you in the downside. Long ago. There is nothing for you there, and you wish never to see it again. Exiles cast downriver washed on the southern edge of downside, in the unlivable waste. Exiles who survived the river journey are then left to struggle here. There's such a good chance of you just dying in that situation, which is basically what almost happened. So yeah, we actually went all the way back to the very beginning of the game for our penultimate round. It's probably not our penultimate round, though. No. I don't know. I'm waiting for the obvious villain character to come up, because he's been set up now. So, either he intercepts us for some kind of other rite on the way to the Liberation Rite, or he replaces them in the Liberation Rite and corrupts the entire proceedings, or there's some kind of epilogue fight against him. But, like, surely we have to face off against him. We've only faced off against him once, and they set up as a whole character. They put all that work into this portrait and everything. So it's just Pamitha and Tiza are just interested in two different paths, no particular other detail. Alright, let's try Hollow Root. You make a successful landing in Downside Prairie, near the southern edge of the downside. Memories of having first met Hedwyn, Jadariel, and Ruki come flooding back. Reminders that they're all free now in their updated descriptions. They're all gone. Isn't that weird? You now should have some time in the vicinity before continuing onward towards the Ridge of Goal by land. I'm always surprised when it says locate the missing drive imps, because whenever it comes up, I'm like, they're missing? Usually doesn't actually preface that by telling me they're missing. Downside Clinger. Yields fruit from time to time, though only if one says the magic word. Downside Prairie, words of Molten Millith, the Wild Witch. The downside is connected to our realm via a single artery, the river named for our prestigious sap colleague, Luce Glorian. That river gushes into seeming nothingness. That seeming nothingness turns out, of course, to be the downside. Its existence undermines thousands of years of thought about the composition of our world. The downside southern edge we call the Sandfolds. It is a desecrated wasteland speaking well to this land's lack of hospitality. Here, the strength of many who survived the river journey finally fails. If only they could clamber further north, where lies the verdant Downside Prairie. A better place to perish, to be sure. If only they could make it over here and then die instead. Oh, not even being hopeful about their chances there. Your intentions to explore the sweeping plains of Hollow Root were dashed when, on your arrival, several of the wagon's strong-willed drive imps escaped. Fortunately, their disposition towards mischief proves predictable enough, and soon, all the imps are once again accounted for. However, Pamitha also has a nasty bite to show for it. Blasted little buggers, I'll skewer them one day. You dressed the minor wound, which ought to heal soon, but the incident took much of your remaining time this day and left both you and Pamitha awaiting its merciful conclusion. Well, that's not a very nice, game. -2 quickness on Pamitha. Why you gotta do that to me? There we go. Bridge of Goal. A Ridge of Goal. It's interesting. It's a codex that basically has... So this whole codex has variable amounts of what gets unlocked along the way, because you unlock each codex entry by visiting each location, but only after you've already succeeded in finishing your first Liberation Rite, which means you have to revisit each location one by one, and I I'm curious if you can do a completionist run of getting the entire codex filled in one run. You'd have to keep track of every location that you ever had the option to visit during your first run and like write them all down. Then try to visit the stars in a specific order so you can go to each one and then try every single individual path, which I genuinely don't know if that's possible or not, especially with sometimes you don't get every option possible. Just interesting to think about. That means that if you take different paths, you can get different codex entries in your subsequent playthroughs. The Ridge of Goal, Luce Glorian. The Serpent Titan Gandroth turned to brittle stone not long after his death. Of that you may be certain. What remains is a flat, elevated basin that stands us closer to the heavens, upon the fallen Gandroth's hide. The stars themselves alight, and you shall know you stand on sacred ground. We set the metal sigils, lit the candle flames, and we emblazoned on the rock-like forms the sigil of our passage to and from this land, and then the stars themselves, they did not reply to us. They sang, shining bright, their voices loud and clear. We understood their cadence, and we knew how often to return.
Hey guys, say, what are you guys doing all the way back here? You know, it's not so bad here. I was thinking, I got some pretty good stuff. I think you ought to check it out.
Bling. Oh. Where are the permanent stat upgrade items? You teased me with the possibility of them, and they just went away. What's the dealio? This thing's already ranked 20. That's ranked 20. That's ranked 20. That's 12, I guess. That's like the only one, basically. Oops. I don't even have stuff to sell for. Like, I don't have use for these things. And I'm already pretty happy with the items I have. I pretty much just want to say hi to Mr. Ron. Alright, this thing. Bear's aura remains when grasping the orb, but it cannot be cast. Cannot be used by worms, harps, or crones. That's interesting to think about a little bit. I was thinking of selling it, but now I'm thinking like that actually might be a decent item to give to the tree character, or Sap Volfred. I'm bad at doing the whole throw your thing out anyway, but like him walking towards the enemy base with an aura around him could be pretty effective. Does he have a lot of presence? He has the most presence of any character right now, so probably not as high as Jadariel's was, but still. So him having that cloud might not be very bad, actually. That might be a worthwhile option to consider. But yeah, I think Ron, we've concluded our business operations. That's one of the. It's almost inherent. It's almost like a contradiction in the design a little bit. The idea that like you get more and more varieties of trinkets to pick from as the game goes on, and you get more and more of a stockpile of currency, but you have fewer and fewer characters to equip, and fewer need to change your strategies as they get sort of like burned in a little bit. Wish you guys would have bought something, maybe. The sky begins to darken over the Ridge of Goal. You see one of your adversaries clad in the colors of the Fate step forward. Where is Faye? He arrives on cue. Oh, hi, Elmer. Hello. Father asked me to salute you and the Nightwing, so here I am then. Consider yourself saluted. Oh, okay, and, may the scribes watch over you and Mr. Oldheart. They shall do no such thing. Know that I am only doing this to ease Father's worries, such as I can. But when night falls, you are all my adversaries, nothing more. He walks away even as the darkness grows and the stars begin to shine. Aw. Nope. Nope. None of these.
Reader, it seems the stars once more have mustered wherewithal to usher in the rites. The sky grows dimmer by the day, An age is ending. Surely you must know by now that you shall never all be free. Yet still you struggle to fulfill some senseless plan. But I digress, of course. Some of us still honor the tradition. Some of us hold dear the teachings of the scribes.
Hail once again, O Nightwings. My son Almer tells me that you have treated him most graciously. For that, I am most grateful. Father, I said no such thing. But as we all know each other well now, I suggest that we dispense with further interactions for the time. We must not let our hearts take sway when we are here to honor the scribes.
Faye listens intently to all this, then...
Oh, you are right, Mr. Oldheart. I never thought of it that way, but you were right. Almer, when all this is over, someday not too long from now, and the scribes are satisfied that they have served us well, we have served them well, then will you be my friend? I don't know.
Okay, I know what you mean. I know you mean that too. Until then, may the scribes protect us all. May the scribes protect us all.
Choose quickly your triumvirate.
Already pre-chosen, figured it out. You get an experience. And you get enlightenment.
Tizo.
And everybody gets enlightenment. God, this is an awkward group of characters to control. Oh man, but I'm trying to minimize risks of resurrection sickness. I kind of don't think they would bother doing resurrection sickness this late in the game because the next round might be the final round of the game, and it'd really suck to not have all the options available for a liberation rite. Although based on that, I can't help but wonder if maybe you guys in the comments know about what causes liberation sickness, and maybe there's more specific variables involved, and maybe it's a punishment for losing and stuff like that specifically. I don't have a big sample size to go off of. I just know that I just remember last time I got everyone when all 3 people got liberation sickness. It was wait, no, it's called banishment sickness. When all 3 people got banishment sickness, it was because I had intentionally lost that round. Other than that, my only sample size is the introduction of it when Faye gets banishment sickness as almost like a tutorial, seemingly. And now the game seemingly is ending, so I can't help but wonder, like, it feels like an underutilized video game mechanic because it came up, like, once, basically, which is a weird thing to do. Oh, I'm ready for them. Let us stand together now, my son.
Father.
Always, father. I am ready. Look at your tiny little cur radius.
Now begin.
Oh, you walked right into that one, didn't you? Okay. Good, took a strat. Good strat. Oh, mutual. Oh, okay. Hey, just come right over here. Come right over here. Oh no, how'd that happen? Magic. Where's my aura? Wait, what? Where didn't he put on the thing that makes his aura stick around? Or did I forget?
The Nightwing's Pyre is the first to falter.
Where was... I don't know where my character's aura was.
Praise be to Jomuar Many Main and the scribes who spur us to such feats of glory.
There we go.
Take it.
Hey, there it is again. Douse Pyre without banishing. Oh, I didn't even see that. I guess I failed that now. Or I failed it for this particular run, I guess. Where's my aura? Where's my aura? Where's my aura? I don't understand. Where's my aura disappearing? What's the point of having that item equipped if my aura disappears? Ow. These are hard characters to play as. Nope. Bad dodge.
All banished.
Hello.
Utterly brazen.
Yeah, I don't understand why his aura keeps disappearing.
Nightwings press their luck.
Woohoo. That's a good dodge. There we go.
Has doused the flame.
There we go. Ow. There's a salute. That mechanic I've forgotten exists for most of my playthrough, basically. Hello. Oh, no.
Didn't see it coming.
Nope. Not quite. Where's my
Banished.
Come here. Just gonna fly into you directly. There we go.
Brilliantly done.
Yeah, sometimes the aura's back immediately and sometimes it's not. I'm not really sure why one or the other happens. Where's my aura right now at all? I don't understand. I don't have an aura. I need that. That's how the character works. He really falls apart when that's gone. Ah. Look how big it is.
Go on just once more. The orb.
Is there? No, there it goes. It's gone now. Is there a quirk I don't understand about how saps work? Nope, there we go.
For Wolfred.
Spiteful announcer is just happy to talk shit about Wolfred, basically.
And it is
There it
done.
goes.
The Nightwings prevail. Their hapless adversaries stood no chance. The ceremony is complete.
Alas, the scribes did not heed our prayers this night. Come, Almer. We are needed here no longer.
The rites do tend to teach something of trust.
Rank 5
Within the
on a third
exile
character.
Samathar awakens now the spirit of the saint.
I used to soar above the mountains with the high-wing remnants, and we would see the Commonwealth shining down on the horizon. It enraged us, the mere sight of it. I can fly free no longer, yet that anger, I don't feel it anymore.
What are our options? Aura burst when casting her aura, or move faster while flying. That's probably a good one. I wish I knew how much faster, but given that's one of her strengths, moving faster would be a big change, I think.
The holy power of the eldest matriarch. What is it you recall there, Wolfred, my old friend?
The rites demand we act as one of one mind, in perfect unison and harmony, and free of any doubt. I have grown more accustomed to being a part of the Nightwings of today.
Shielding your allies is a neat trick. Permanently gain +5 hope, hastening how quick he returns from banishment. Wolfred banish sapling spawns near the home. That's a pretty neat trick, too. Just as a minor thing to block a little. Yeah, let's go for that. A minor thing to block when bad things happen. Although I might never control him again.
May misfortune find you ere the turning of the stars.
Inside the wagon, after overcoming the fate, Tizo is discussing aspects of the outcome with the others when the lone minstrel seeks you out. Pardon the interruption, reader, though I need to ask a moment of your time while the night is clear enough for you to see. Please, come have a look outside. Perhaps the news of your next destination may further stir the hearts of your companions.
Among what stars yet remain shining in the night, one of them now burns as bright as you have ever seen. The path to freedom calls you again. Answer its call. Just like that, huh? I don't want this game to end. Like, part of me does just because it's a long game, and I'm like, yeah, let's go play other games now that have been waiting because this game's been long. But at the same time, I'm like, no, I want to keep playing. It's been interesting seeing them play make a game that's not just 5 hours long, because that's been their shtick since the beginning. Yeah, this could be it. Alright, Barker, if that is your real name, unless you're gonna be supplanted a second time. That'd be the worst luck. The cycle turns even more quickly now, until such time as it shall shudder to a halt. It makes a sound, then almost like a laugh. I forget myself, reader. I should not say such things. The scribes, they would say that one ought focus on the path in front of him. When we set forth to walk along a long and labored path, it can be all too much. If we stand back and look upon it as a whole, we may well decide to turn around. But if we begin to walk, whilst casting down our gaze, and whilst resisting, well, the urge to look too far ahead, we may walk steady. We may make steady, careful progress. Soon enough, we may arrive where we endeavored. Lone Minstrel bids you a good evening. You had best retire for the night, for when first daylight comes, it shall be time again to take to the skies. Well, this could be it. That'd be the worst luck. Barker already got one of his rights removed from him. So if his liberation right was also robbed from him, that'd be the worst thing. But I'm still just waiting for that other shoe to drop. Like, when is this guy gonna show up again? It'd be so weird if he didn't. There's no one anywhere, is there? Because it's over. I never got news about Gilman. Maybe it'll happen when I land. Oh, I think I can guess who that is. Your wagon reels from the impact of some sort of massive object slamming into it mid-flight. False, Nightwings. Orlek calls down to all of you from atop his wagon. Again you seek to climb that cursed mountain beneath us. Again you seek to take my rightful place. I should send you crashing down to it, that you might fall as I have. He stares down at all of you. But I shall not. Rather, we shall meet upon the summit, ere the last cycle the rites has ended. Until then, what is going to happen here? So Bertrude gets favor versus... Well, I'm definitely using Bertrude over Tizo in this next round. You make landing on the sacred Mount Elodiel after your encounter with Orlek. Orlek spoke the truth. He has a right to gain the summit. When the time comes, Celeste shall deem him worthy and let him pass. While he has transgressed against the rites, he has also already been anointed and prevailed. Nothing is written in the book on this, and liberty ought already be his. So why exactly can't he just go back up there and jump in again, considering he already was given the right and nobody took credit for it because the other person burned to death or whatever? For the time, it seems that he has not yet traveled to the summit. Perhaps he is still making preparations with his fellow exiles. Maybe I'll face off against both of them back to back. If that's the case, and if that happens, and it is perhaps another chance at liberation, for example, part of me wonders, like, this. Oh wow, I'm thinking about my math earlier when I was talking about how, like, it would take me down to 3 people and that'd be too restrictive because I wouldn't have any choices left for how I play the game. What you could do, though, is have a back-to-back liberation right where you immediately face off against Orlek again, and if that's the case, then, like, it could be a chance to liberate another person / deal with the hanging thread of whether or not he should be liberated without having you actually have to wander around and stuff. If that's the case, if that does happen, that really, really seals the deal on this being the last time we go up the summit, because we would then be stuck, if you win at everything, you would then be stuck with 2 people, which is not enough to actually do with a Rite. When exactly Orlik intends to make good on his promise, he did not make clear. For now, you are to confront Barker in the distance upon the summit, but first you may prepare. Whoa. The Beyonder Crystal seeks Volfred? I forgot we hadn't done his yet, actually. You have returned. How can I help you, if at all? What's on your mind, Sandra? It's been a while. Please, reader, leave me be. I asked that you leave me be. Go about your business. Go, watch the stars die out, and get your idiots their freedom. And you be sure to tell that herald, with whom you consort, that Sandra the Unseeing did her job. You tell him that. Perhaps that way he shall put in a good word, and the scribe shall finally provide me a bit of reprieve. He falls silent for a time. I do not know what else to do, reader. But you remain with her, letting her draw whatever strength and comfort from your thoughts that you are able to afford. That was kind of you. However, let us conduct our business. I care not for your pity. Do not come visit me again like this without my asking, I insist. Oh.